Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Lacrosse is back on Long Island, and what an opening we have for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. A pair of blue bloods, as it's Shoreham-Wading River, and it's Manhasset here in a non-league matchup. Should be so much fun here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We welcome you into the booth, Dylan Butler alongside Brian Soper. And Soap, it's the best time of year. I know you've been waiting for the start of the lacrosse season. It is here, and it's a great matchup to start the season. Two teams who come into this one after losing in the county finals last year. Two teams also that lost a lot of their key pieces to those runners-up a year ago. So a lot of young players on both sides looking to showcase themselves under the lights here at Ed Walsh Field.
Yeah, not a lot of time to get ready, right? 7 days. Let's go. Let's face it off. 7 days of practice, and here we are, right? It's a new year, a lot of new faces out there, and we got a new rule, right? We got the shot clock that's going to be, present here for these players. It's going to be a great environment here tonight, and what a way to kick off Varsity Media and the lacrosse season here at Ed Walsh Field.
Yeah, so as if these players, a lot of them getting their first taste of varsity didn't have enough on their plate. It's under the lights. It's at Manhasset. It's the shot clock. So many different variables for them to deal with. But first, we take a look at Shoreham-Wading River. This is a team that Mike Taylor, their head coach, he's in his 13th season, said he's never had a younger team or a smaller team in terms of numbers. But that doesn't mean they're not a talented team. It's going to take them some time to get into themselves. But keep an eye out for these Wildcats, certainly. While they're young and they're inexperienced, there's a lot of talent there.
You have a nice mix, right? You got some captains that have a lot of experience, and you have some young pups that are super talented, right? You might throw out there on an opening possession a freshman, an 8th grader, and a couple of sophomores at the midfield, but hey, no excuses now, right? Every game is an opportunity to get better, and here you get to play Manhasset and see what you got.
And Soap, you mentioned some experience, and we'll take a look at the impact players for Shoreham-Wading River here tonight. Two guys who have a lot of it, right, for the Wildcats. Anthony Semino on the attacking side, and George Green as an LSM.
Yeah, both of them Division I recruit, commits, right? Semino, right, going to Richmond, captain, two-time starter, lefty finisher. He's going to hope to fill up the net tonight for Shoreham-Wading River. And George Green, captain, Siena commit. You might see him at long stick, you might see him at close, but you're going to see a gritty kid attacking the ground and making sure that the defense is communicating.
When we last saw Manhasset, they were losing to Southside at Hofstra in the county championship game after an emotional win over Garden City. So now, what do these guys have coming back, right? So similar story. They're a young team, but they do have some talented returning players. Let's take a look at the players to watch here. And those are two of the special numbers, right, for Manhasset. Danny Colin and Lachlan Fitzpatrick wear that this year.
Yeah, Danny Colin, right, a ton of experience coming back, 29 goals last year, 71 career goals, Navy commit, all county, look for him to lead this team, right? Kind of the Coach McTeague and Cromwell, right? He's the engine, right? He's the cog that's going to fire this offense up. And Lachlan Fitzpatrick, maybe a little undersized, but a lot of heart. He's tenacious and the epitome of a student athlete, a near perfect score on his ACT.
So let's take a look at the starters, or the starting lineups, excuse me. First for the visitors from Shoreham-Wading River, and you see some experience there. Noah Gregoric, he's young, but he is experienced, along with White and Samino. Your first midfields, Lucas Diamond, Anthony Mullen, and Brady Kitchen. Diamond was more of a defensive midfielder last year. Your close D is Casey, big football standout, Tyler Nowaski, Sale Mealy. And in the cage, what a story it is here this year for Shoreham-Wading River. It's Angelina Price, the first varsity women's starter in the history of Shoreham-Wading River. We'll have the Manhasset starters and the face-off when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Back here at Ed Walsh Field, Dylan Butler, Brian Soper.
The head coach of the Wildcats in his 13th
As it's
season
Manhasset
is Mike Teller, assisted by Mike
and
Calzano.
Shoreham-Wading River getting set to start. We take a look at the starters now for Manhasset, and a lot of interchangeable parts here. So maybe some guys that we're used to seeing in the midfield on attack, some guys who are on attack tonight might come out of the box as well.
I think it's going to be real important for, you know, a lot of different roles. Some familiar names, but different roles, right? Got to step up, right? Be that kind of alpha on offense. Coach Cromwell is going to look for them to build chemistry early on and really feed Colin and make him like kind of maybe settle in the early stages of this game.
Yeah, Colin clearly the alpha of this Manhasset team this year, but it's also his job as the alpha to get others involved. So you see the starting lineup, Sheeran and Petroselli join him on the attack line. Your first midfield, Doc, Daniel O'Connor, Tommy Leader, Dylan Shear. Shear and Leader, two guys who saw a lot of time on the defensive side a year ago as D middies. They're now playing two ways. Your starting defense, Eric Salura, the Stony Brook commit, along with James Ledbetter and Michael DePietro, a sophomore also earning his first start in the cage for Manhasset. Listen, he's already committed to college, but he's his first varsity start. Henry Griffith, certainly Manhasset, Keith Cromwell had almost an embarrassment of riches for the last couple of years. A couple of Division I players in the cage. So Griffith had to wait his turn, and now it is his, but it's also still an open competition.
How do you replace 300-plus saves, right? Matthew M. now at Tampa, kind of a staple in the net for Manhasset, and now you have, you know, Griffith, a commit to Franklin and Marshall, can definitely save it. All right, let's see if he can handle the other things, communication and clearing the ball, right? Things you want to see early on from a new keeper.
And he will split time at least early on this year with Brady Bausch and kind of see which one of those seniors emerge as the guy. We take a look now, Soap, at your keys to this game as both teams out at midfield right now, and some similarities, right, in these keys.
Yeah, I think Shoreham-Wading River, you got a mixture of young guys and veterans. Manage the emotions. 7 o'clock, first game, 7 practices in, and then utilize your athleticism, right? Maybe lacrosse skills and IQ not up to the varsity level yet, but utilize your athleticism and lean on the leadership, right? You got George Green, right? You got Semino, right? You got in the cage, right? Cheeto Price, right? Who's a Navy commit in the goal. And look for them to lean on them. Manhasset, value the ball. Whether it's clearing the face-off game, you need the ball, develop chemistry on offense, as well as managing the shot clock in your sub-game. Coach Cromwell thinks is super important.
Opening face-off at the X for both teams, and what a battle it is. For Shoreham-Wading River, it's Mike Clemente. And for Manhasset, as this one is still not won yet, the opening face-off was taken by Mikey Beschel. Still no win off the face-off. And now it will be Shoreham ball.
That's one thing for Manhasset, right, in terms of face-off, like make it a scrap, right? You have Fitzpatrick on the wing, and that's what they did last year with inexperience at the face-off axis to muck it up, right? Make it a street fight.
There's about 4 guys right now who are in that competition at face-off, but right now it appears like Beschel and Bo Dillmeyer, who saw a lot of time at the X, those are the 2 guys who have kind of emerged at this point.
Shot by Gregoric.
Nice shots by Gregoric, blocked. It'll stay with Shoreham.
Yeah, Gregoric, only a freshman, 22 goals last year. He's gonna be the main dodging threat, especially early on for the Wildcats.
Yeah, his name certainly synonymous with Shoreham-Wading River Lacrosse, the youngest of 4 to have come through Mike Taylor's program. Anthony Mullen out at midfield.
Manhasset, number 44. Lachlan Fitzpatrick.
See the shot clock come into play right away.
And now this is the part of the game that Keith Cromwell really wants to see from his goalies. He said, honestly, shot stopping wise, they're the same. But who can be better in the clearing game? That's the guy who will likely get more minutes this year.
Nice pressure ride by Shoreham. They got the double team they wanted at the 50.
Good knockdown. And we go the other way. At least it appeared momentarily. Salura looks to try to pick it up off the turf. Instead, it goes to Semino. Semino, one of the captains of this Shoreham-Wading River team.
Shoreham-Wading River takes its first timeout.
And the Wildcats take an early one, an early timeout.
Each team gets 2 timeouts per half.
Yeah, it's an early one, but, you know, this is early in the season, and you got to make sure you guys know what they're doing, right? So Coach Taylor's an offensive guy. He wants to make sure they're running good stuff.
Well, we take a look at the Manhasset bench there, and in the middle, Keith Cromwell, their head coach in his 9th season at the helm, a 1997 graduate of Hicksville High School. 107.25 overall record here at Manhasset for Cromie.
Yeah, the entire staff at Manhasset, right, with Coach McTeague, Armstrong, Fallon, one of the closest staffs in all of Nassau County. Cromwell got his 100th win last year, back-to-back state titles in 22 and 23. You know,
for Shoreham-Wading River, it's Mike Taylor in his 13th season. It feels like he just took over that program, Taylor, but from Huntsville, Ontario, 1987 graduate. That's in Northern Ontario if you're trying to figure out your landscape of your Canadian landscape. But certainly a lot of success for Taylor in his 13 seasons. A couple of first-year assistants as well for Shoreham-Wading River, Jason Pizzola-Russo and Mike Galfano as well.
Yeah, both coaches were great players too, right? Coach Taylor was an All-American at Dowling, and Coach Cromwell, All-American at Rutgers.
So out of the timeout at X, that's Gregoric. Tries to get topside. Goes low in the finish. Gregorek gets goal number 1 of the season after scoring 20 times as a freshman.
Great timeout by Taylor, right? What do? You get the ball in the stick of your best offensive player, Noah Gregorek. Nothing fancy here. Just kind of changes direction, changes his speed, kind of bounces, right? Going against DePietro, a really good young defenseman, gets top side, no slide comes, buries the biscuit down low. First goal of the season for the Wildcats, shockingly, from Noah Gregorek.
Back to the face-off X. Salora tries to get his stick on it. Again, it is another scrum. This is where wing play becomes so important. Nice ground ball picked up, so the win goes to Manhasset.
Yeah, Dylan Shear, nice ground ball by the junior.
So now the first settled offensive opportunity for Manhasset. And there's Tommy Leader. Remember some heroics a year ago, right? Had the tying goal with a second left and the overtime winner here against Rumson Fairhaven.
Yeah, really got him going last year. It was a big confidence booster for him.
Off the pipe.
Nice little quick hitter run by Manhasset. Marco Petroselli, the sophomore, rings the pipe.
And now can Shoreham get the clear? They will, and they've got an opportunity. Here's Semino, draws the double. His low shot, nice looking save.
Andrew Semino, the shooter.
It's a big save by Griffith. Semino from range there, nice save.
But again, a failed clear.
So that was one of the keys from Coach Cromwell, right? Possessions, not just offensive, but if you make a save or you got to clear it, get the ball to the other end. Face-offs as well.
Here's Semino, the Richmond commit, 30 goals a year ago as a sophomore. It's a Shoreham-Wading River team that lost to a senior-laden Bayport Blue Point team in the Suffolk final a year ago.
Yeah, this is the super soft on an invert, Lucas Diamond. Good size for a sophomore.
Yeah, out of necessity last year, he was forced to do a lot of the dirty work around the cage and wide. Gregorek.
He's a tough cover. You see the shiftiness, you see the quickness by him. Low angle shot goes wide.
But Taylor is very high on Diamond.
Yeah, they got the short stick on. That's Cromwell's going crazy. Gregorek's got a shorty.
Here's Gregorek. Shot clock winding down. Little hitch. Good defense by Manhasset.
Yeah, DePietro with a great double team. Salora, the Stony Brook commit, using his length.
And then Shear able to get the clear. Splitting, Colin. And that shot just wide.
You see that speed by Colin, right? All county last year, right? Definitely on some of the lists, right? When you're thinking about potential All-Americans in Nassau County. Is the first show of his senior year.
Yeah, and so his story is an interesting one, right? Because he was fine playing second or even third fiddle to some of those guys last year, but now he's the alpha, right? And it's a position where also they need him to be unselfish and be a team guy as well.
I think that's the hardest part, right? Is we need you to score, but also we need you to share the rock. It's a delicate duty for him.
And we'll see him pop up in all kinds of places as well.
Yeah,
nice hitch. And here's Colin. 5 on the shot clock. Gets topside. Colin! And we are tied at 1.
That's Navy on Navy, right? Danny Colin going to Naval commit. Right in the goal for Shoreham, right? Angelina Cheeto Price, Navy commit. 1-0 Colin as he beats her off stick, right? She's left-handed, gets to the center, boom. Off hip, good night. No one's getting that one.
Perhaps in October or November around Annapolis, maybe at a coffee shop. Colin and Price will meet again, and Colin will remind her of that first goal of his senior season.
You see that burst, right, Coach Cromwell? You asked him, like, what's the difference between Colin last year and this year? And he just says he's got that extra burst, right? And you saw it right there on display 2 times in a row. No one can stop him getting to the middle of the field.
That face-off taken by Bo Dillmeyer.
That was a nice one, a little easier, right? Not a crazy scrap. This is the toughest part of playing early, this clear game. Kind of a deep pressure ride by Shoreham. Good job by Manhasset.
Yeah, that was Cooper Harley who showed for the ball and gets the clear. Harley, one of those guys, good athleticism and just needs some game experience, right? And that's the case of so many of these players on both of these teams. As that was in pass that was picked off, and now the ride for Manhasset. They go back to Price. She reverses it.
Yeah, that was an early slide by Shoreham. Manhasset couldn't capitalize.
And we have another timeout taken by Shoreham-Wading River.
Wildcats take their final timeout of the first half.
So they are out for the first half. Taylor used them all up early.
Yeah, Melly coming over. Looked like he wanted to go to the rack. Coach Taylor, not so much trust yet. It's too early. Calls the timeout. That's his second.
Well, Soap, we're going to already be in mid-season mode here. Let's take a look at some of our upcoming games here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We head to Burner Middle School. You and I will be on the call of that one between Southside and Massapequa. Massapequa preseason number 1 in Class A. Southside, the defending Class B state champions, although this year they're playing in Class C. We head to the girls lacrosse. It's actually going to be like a day-night doubleheader out of East Islip, right? We got Pat Med, EI girls, and then a really good one under the lights there at that Boomer Esiason Stadium, Wantagh and East Islip. And then we'll be right back here next Monday. Cold Spring Harbor, Manhasset. How about a little Bayport, Blue Point, West Islip? And then Don Bosco makes the trip across the bridge to take on the Flyers of Chaminade. All those games right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Yeah, you see her getting into the net, right? What an amazing thing for her to be in there. 3 years on the varsity. Angelina Price.
Yeah, she had to wait her opportunity, and there was a really good one in front of her the last couple of years, right? Jaden Galfano, he is currently playing at Fairfield University. And obviously there were opportunities, no doubt, for her to play with the girls lacrosse team, but she said she prefers the competition and the athleticism, everything that comes with playing with the boys.
Yeah, replacing the all-time saves leader at Shoreham.
Ooh, ringing off the pipe with Samino.
She said, last year, right, with, Curtius and Gregorix, right, you're getting shots every day from guys going to Duke and Hopkins. It makes her better.
And you wonder if the coaching staff down at Navy likes that as well, right? Like, it's different, those shots. And we're going to reset the shot clock to 55.
She has that one intangible that all goalies need, and Coach Taylor harped on it. She's so competitive. And you see that with her wanting to challenge herself here and playing with the boys.
Got it. Thank you.
And we'll restart now with Samino.
Kind of an umbrella look up top by Shoreham.
Samino to his left, switches. Now he looks to be a feeder. Goes back to X. Nice feed, a little hitch. Good defense by Set. Now here's Samino again. Slide comes his way. Samino curls out of it. They stay with him, and Good job by the defense of Manhasset.
Yeah, good job. It might have been a zone look by Manhasset. Definitely early doubles. They stayed on the double and forced a turnover. Good job by Coach Armstrong. Tremendous job with this defense. Last year only gave up about 8 goals a game, playing a killer schedule.
Here's Tommy Leader. They work it to X. That's where Connor Sheeran will operate. Good to see him back. Had some back issues early in the preseason. Cromwell was unsure of his availability here today. Low shot, Price, nice save. Denying Leader. Rebound pops out, open net, no problem for Connor Sheeran.
Yeah, Sheeran Jr., 14 goals last year, 23 points. One of the more easy ones he's going to get all year on an empty net. Right, Price made a great save down low. Rebound, scrap, led to an open net.
Yeah, we see it again. There's the save, but now where does the ball come out?
Yeah, she goes to play it. Nice job by Petroselli. Sophomore scoops it up.
So Petroselli will get the assist.
Yeah, good dodge, right? Good dodge by Leader. Shoreham had like a kind of they kind of showed a slide but didn't go. Got off a good shot, good save by Price, just unlucky. Great ground ball by Petroselli.
Face-off win, and for the second straight time we saw Manhasset go backwards.
Yeah, that's Harley again with the ground ball.
Well, the negative I'd say or the difficult thing is you need to get the ground ball, you need to get the clear, and there's Petroselli again.
Yeah,
sure.
It was Melconi, and Melconi's been playing that wing, senior 6'2". Great athlete, football player.
So Cromwell said too early on, unfortunately just, we're playing, and I mean, it is fortunate. You're playing an incredible schedule for Manhasset, but he said, unfortunately, we're going to have to kind of limit our bench early as these guys need to get some reps. To the left, bouncer. Shot by Leader.
Tremendous ball movement by Set. Nice split by Leader. Bounce shot just goes over the net, but just nice, unselfish lacrosse. Colin kind of initiated it, drew a dodge, drew a slide, got them kind of on skates, and just shot it wide.
Little BTB, shot wide by Colin. And that's what Cromwell said too, right, Soap? That it's going to be more of a motion offense look this year.
Yeah, and Petroselli kind of a lefty behind the cage. Little kind of a fish hook look by Colin.
And now Price goes up to midfield. Just over, and look out. Who comes away? Manhasset gets the ball. Great job by Fitzpatrick. And we'll have a hold, so it'll stay with Manhasset.
Yeah, you saw Mike Casey on the ball, 77 for Shoreham. All-county wide receiver, cornerback for the Wildcat football team.
They're going to reset the shot clock.
Reset.
As Leader.
Really good spacing so far by the Manhasset offense.
Little jump shot by Petroselli, but there was a flag. He took a stick to the head, so we'll have our first man up opportunity.
Yeah, our first look, number 31, the sophomore, Phil Palumbo. Coach Cromie said we'd see him on man up, maybe some zone O.
It's a 1 minute slash.
Is it a reset? Did he signal? Who's the penalty?
Penalty is on number 77.
So Mike Casey will go to the box. First man up opportunity this season for Manhasset. It's a 1 minute slash.
Yeah, the Wildcats got kind of hung up at X, right? Petrucelli had a ton of room and space, took it top side, took a stick off the dome.
And there is Petrucelli. A year ago, we saw him in the midfield. And this year, as you mentioned, now he's that super important lefty attackman. Good movement.
See the benefit of having two lefties out there. That's why Palumbo's out there on the extra man, him and Petrucelli.
That one knocked down by one of the poles for Shoreham. Manhasset trying to ride it back.
Yeah, that was George Green, 41, Siena commit.
And he was super aggressive too early in that, where he was out on hands at the top.
Yeah, he plays with a lot of energy, kind of Energizer Bunny type for the defense down there. Only a junior. Sky's the limit for him.
And here's Lucas Diamond. So good opportunity here to, as the penalty is up. So Shoreham does the job. They kill it. And here's Semino looking to dodge. Spins. Fires low, and there's the save. And a quick outlet as well by Griffith. That was perfectly executed. Just as the quarter ended, Tommy Leader went down and a flag was thrown as well. So we'll have, it looks like Manhasset should have a second man-up opportunity. They'll start the second quarter man-up. So Henry Griffith, welcome to the big show, Soap.
Yeah, Semino tested him from range, the Richmond Spider. The Franklin Marshall Diplomat says not tonight. Great job, great outlet. So far, so good. Those last two saves are huge for Griffith, right, to gain his confidence.
It is Manhasset, Shoreham-Wading River, quarter number 2, when we return to the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
And back to Ed Walsh Field, Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, our entire Varsity Media crew. It's the start of the second quarter. Manhasset with a 2-1 lead. They're on man up for the second time as well after Gregoric picked up that 30-second push.
A lot of changing sets on that first man up.
Doc shoots it wide.
Kind of cut into a 1-4 look. Shot by Daniel O'Connor. That one guy who, senior, Colby commit. Perhaps a breakout star on the offensive side for Manhasset.
Sheeran. O'Connor, we're even.
All square.
Tough skip pass finds Colin. Colin goes back up top to O'Connor.
Yeah, however you look at it. 0 for 2 man up for Manhasset, 2 for 2 if you're man down unit for Shoreham. Cromwell happy, not happy. Taylor happy.
Off the restart. Petroselli up top. O'Connor fires high and wide.
Yeah, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Coach Cromwell said if they're behind the net, short time, they'll probably just dump it. Maybe not.
Yeah, Golan says, no, I've got other plans.
Shot clock violation.
That's something that we've certainly been on our soapboxes about for a few years. Great to see the shot clock instituted here in New York State this year.
It's tremendous, right? You still have your 20-10, but then once you get it into the box, the scoring area, right, you get your 60 seconds. Something Jim Amon fought for like crazy on Long Island.
Colin, the pickoff. Colin takes a shot, finds an open man. That shot eaten up in front.
Yeah, nice job by Anthony Mullen getting back for Shoreham. Colin looked like he had a trailer in Petroselli, but Mullen with the back check.
Now some numbers from Manhasset. Lefty shot, Price. Tremendous save.
Nice job. It's 2 for 2 down low. Great save by Cheeto.
Looking to spin inside. Colin.
Inside roll.
Unable to get it off the inside roll.
Great move. Great burst.
I mentioned a few times Angelina Price's nickname is Cheeto in this day of NIL. Hope it gets her some bucks.
I brought a bag up here for halftime, me and you.
Here's O'Connor.
But she got that by showing up for a trainer with Cheetos on her face in like 2nd grade.
Oh, what a finish. Slick from Petroselli.
It's a twister. We've seen Petroselli, as a feeder. Here he is as a finisher.
Yeah, we'll take another look as it's O'Connor.
Yeah, what's up, Doc, right? Finds an open Petroselli. Goes hard to his left, early slide, twister. Great finish by Petroselli. 7 goals last year. He might triple that number this year, being a huge focal point for the set offense. Really knows his importance, right? Cromie talked about how important that lefty is for them offensively, and he's the guy.
Now Dillmeyer, clean win going forward. Takes a few shots. And timeout for Manhasset off of that face-off win. Manhasset now 4 of 5 on face-off wins.
It's that possession game that's so important.
Now is a great time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast. Our professional announcers bring the stories of your athletes to life, highlighting their accomplishments and the hard work behind every game. With Varsity Media Sportscast, you can keep fans, family, and alumni connected, even when they're far away. It's a perfect way to showcase your athletes and create lasting memories for everyone involved. Reach out now to book a Sportscast at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. So look at the huddle there for Shoreham-Wading River. Again, a young team. The numbers, not what Taylor is used to out in that part of Suffolk County. But he said there is talent here, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. They just need game experience, a lot of these players.
Only 3 returning starters. These teams played last year, right? 6-4, right? Manhasset played Shoreham, but some of the faces were a little different, right? Liam Kirschus, right, currently has 7 goals for Duke. Liam Gregorik's at Hopkins. Ryan Wilson is at Siena, and you got Galfano at Fairfield. And missing on the defensive end, right? Manhasset, which is they had Kip Zachariah, right? Lehigh commit junior, played Kirschus last year tremendously. He's out with an ACL.
And that was one of the unfortunate stories for Manhasset in the preseason or even in the offseason, really, right? The 3 big-time ACL injuries.
Yeah, Brian Riley was a 5'10 lefty, came back from Chaminade, committed to Wesleyan. He's out, and Gianluca Milazzo as well. Those are 3 guys who are going to play big minutes for Manhasset.
So after you lose guys like Jack Mulholland and Patty Arnold and Jared Beschel, among others, Mikey Mondiello at MIT, right, and the older Petroselli brother. Now you also have to deal with some ACL injuries as well.
Yeah, Jack Mulholland, you know, he's 8 games he's played in at Dartmouth.
How about the jump shot there by Doc? Or was that Petroselli? It was Marco.
That lefty, right? The importance of that position for Manhasset. Coach McTeague and Coach Cromwell, right? Just nothing fancy, right? Run through a check, little pick by Harley. Nice high bounce shot. 2 goals for Petroselli. He's hot right now.
So Manhasset getting on a little bit of a run now. They've got a 4-1 lead, and they're winning these faceoffs as well.
Yeah, Palumbo checked in on attack from Manhasset. Petroselli out there as well, so they're going to have 2 lefties.
There's Dillmeyer. Gets his own GB.
Yeah, only a freshman, folks. Technically sound, face-off. Only going to get better with experience. So far, so good.
And he was a guy who did rep in last year. There were a bunch of guys, as Colin spins, a bunch of guys getting looks at the face-off X. Lachlan Fitzpatrick was the guy late in the season, but Dillmeyer was one of those.
Yeah, big shoes to fill here, right? You have Silos, you have Cal Gerard. Just got to make a name for yourself. Keep working hard. So the one thing about Shoreham is that they've kind of slid early, 2 eyes, right? You see them coming, so it's allowed for some feeds.
Colin, great stick check.
Danny Colin, the shooter.
However, Manhasset maintains possession. That was Tyler Nowaski. Colin again, Price the save.
Nice save. Definitely looks like her strength is down low on those stops. Good job controlling the rebound. It's a good slide by Nowaski.
And now the ride creates a turnover.
Possessions, possessions, possessions. It's simple.
Dylan Shear.
White's been dominating them.
Dylan Shear with the ground ball. Foreman has it.
And here comes O'Connor. Cromwell praised O'Connor in some of those early practices. Spoke with Cromwell, I think it was like last week, and he's like, we're only in day number 3. So this has come thick and fast. So has Petroselli and O'Connor. How about another one for Petroselli?
Too easy. You got Petroselli, who's red hot right now. He's got a short stick on it. They had a short stick locking off Colin at X. Kind of messed up the slide packages for Shoreham. Petroselli gets top side and buries another one, a hat trick for Marco Petroselli. You see them locking off behind, kind of messed up the slide rotations. Just a simple kind of low wing dodge by Petroselli. Hands free, let it fly.
Cromwell said, and this is actually a compliment, he's like, you can tell Marco Petroselli is a sophomore. Walks around, has a big smile on his face. Last year said he was as cocky and arrogant as you can get out of a freshman, but in a good way. Dillmeyer fight back to try to win it. And a much-needed face-off win by Clemente.
Yeah, he overran the first scoop, got it back.
So Shoreham, it feels like it's been ages since they've been in a settled set offensively.
I was interested to see the short stick D midi position for Manhasset. You see Matt and Franco out there right now. bit of a leg up kind of coming into the season, had the most minutes.
That's another battle, Soap, right? It's like a four-man battle, and that's been a position of tremendous strength as Shoreham offside.
Yeah, Manhasset said this is a prime time position here to play D-Midi at Manhasset's a big deal. You know, following guys like James Lapina, right, who went to Boston U, one of the best I've seen D-Midi wise in Nassau County.
So off the turnover,
Yeah, it's hard, right?
Manhasset back with the ball. It's the hot hands and Petroselli.
Caution flammable.
Why is it so dark?
And here's Colin.
Yeah, Colin guarded by Nowaski. That's a great matchup. Nowaski is a junior captain for Shoreham. Great communicator.
O'Connor's got the short stick.
Yeah, Cromwell said he's going to draw a lot of poles this year, but here he gets a shorty.
Coming downhill and the finish, a rifle.
Guess who?
Marco Petroselli on a feed from Daniel O'Connor.
He had 7 goals all last year. Can he get 7 tonight? Shoreham, you know, kind of sliding here to O'Connor. Wasn't really beat. Creates a slide situation.
So O'Connor with the feed.
Unanswered goal from Manhasset.
So his second assist, but we talk about time and space, right? For Marco Petroselli.
Yeah, you know, O'Connor wasn't really going hard to score. Kind of a bit of a dummy dodge, drew a slide, and you get Petroselli wide open for a step down. This game was 1-0 Shoreham, 6-goal run for set.
Mikey Beschel with the clean win. And add another as Colin gets the finish.
Yeah, he might have been watching a little Syracuse Spallina, a little fake hidden ball trick, like fakes a flip. Catch Shoreham a bit off. Low and away. Nice job by Colin. 71 career goals. Right, you see he can fill it up. That speed is just electric.
A year ago, Colin all-county selection. He is the only captain of this team. Which also and as soon as Cromwell said it, right? I said, I think I know his number. As he's getting 32 in honor of Johnny Driscoll.
Yeah, Mikey Mondiello wore it last year. Jack Peterson the year before at Harvard. Hunter Panzik at Air Force. Just an honor to wear that number in Manhasset.
And Manhasset gets the possession and the face-off win as well, as Manhasset will call a timeout. As Soap, we take a look at the last 3 meetings between these two teams. You mentioned last year, right, that played out at LIU. What a game that was, right? Manhasset 2-goal win over Shoreham was kind of the appetizer a little bit, right, for a big college game that day as well. You go back the year before, an 11-6 win for Manhasset. And back in 2005, that was in the Long Island Championship, where Manhasset won that one comfortably 11-1.
Yeah, that 2023 was a Long Island Championship. You see the numbers. You see 4 goals, 6 goals, 1 goal for Shoreham-Wading River. One thing Manhasset, a little underrated about them is their defense, right, and how well their units play together. You know, keeping that Shoreham team last year to 4 goals, that's ridiculous.
When you think of the greats of Manhasset and the numbers, both in terms of all-time wins and championships, they are outstanding for Manhasset. Take a look here, 22 county championships, 16 Long Island. How about 69 All-Americans and 1,118 all-time wins?
It's crazy, right? You think about the lefty attack position. Think about what the Connor brothers are doing at Colgate, right? Liam and Rory. You got Aiden Mulholland is the leading scorer currently at Michigan. Liam Connor has 20 goals, right? Rory 26. There's Manhasset kids all over D1 rosters.
So Manhasset, a big second quarter for them. A 7-1 lead, they're looking for more.
The spacing has been really good, right? Putting Shoreham in positions where they have to slide long, 2 eyes, you see there.
I don't know if you want to keep Colin that open. The feed, and unable to really get that shot off. That was Phil Palumbo.
Palumbo, the shooter. Connor on the feed.
Mentioned him before, right? Another lefty, sophomore. Here's Colin. A little shimmy, a little shake, goes back to X. Good ball movement. And as I say that, the ball hits the carpet. Nice win back for Harley.
For Harley with the ground ball.
But the shot clock
Violation.
winds down.
Good defense, good rotation by Shoreham. Colin kind of got the defense rotating. He drew a slide, got it to X. They swung the ball, just couldn't capitalize. Good defensive stop, much needed for Shoreham.
And here's kind of where the shot clock plays a factor, right? Because Shoreham, we haven't really seen too many opportunities on this side of the field, right? So in other years, maybe you knock it around a little bit and you get your guys settled.
Yeah, no timeouts for Shoreham. Definitely would have used one there if he had one.
As said, there's a turnover.
As Mealy brought it over. Nice look by Griffith.
So Manhasset, the field has been tilted on this side. And you know Cremo must be loving that. And we'll reset the shot clock to 55. But he's got to be loving all these reps for these guys, right? All in these new positions this year.
Good job by the Manhasset booth getting it set up. It's going to be something all year to watch with the new shot clock.
Petroselli. Up to O'Connor. That's Harley, 27.
Good double by Lucas Diamond.
Colin, he will take that short stick matchup all day long. Switches, nice stick save by Price.
Yeah, nice job. Colin, great move. Little hockey stop to a rollback. Definitely likes that off-stick shot. Good save by Angelina Price.
O'Connor wins his individual matchup.
Shoreham was kind of pre-slid there. Got a hang-up situation.
Here's Colin. The physicality there by Diamond. Flag, though, is thrown. No goal.
No goal, multiple flags.
But Manhasset will have a third men-up opportunity.
Yeah, hard on-ball defense by sophomore Lucas Diamond. Tried a couple crowbars, a couple of... Finally got called for the hold, but good job by Colin coming out of it.
Do you see numbers, fellas? 5, 5, 5.
55.
1 minute or
All right, so we'll get the call here.
It's a reset here, right?
Yep. So it is Diamond on a 30-second hold. And then on top of that, Casey goes in again. So it'll be 6-on-4 here, and he's in for a 1-minute slash.
That must be why they blew the whistle. I don't know if it was a crease violation or that second flag down.
30 seconds.
It's the last time they cut, a little hard cut to the middle. Got into a bit of a 1-4.
Good knockdown. Excellent work.
1 minute and a second.
And that's Nowaski again.
Yeah, great job. It brings a ton of experience. You got time on varsity as a freshman. Look at this find.
The scoop, and Griffith comes up high with the save.
Griffith with the save.
I mean, there's a lot of positives so far from Manhasset, but Griffith in the goal, another save. His ability to save the ball, been impressed with his composure in the clear game, making the right looks.
That time making the save on Samino. That's what Cromwell said. Of his two goalies, the shot stopping has been really good. They're both seeing the ball well in practice. It's just a matter of who's going to be able to clear the ball better.
Yeah, you see the size, you know, a good 6 foot in there. Takes up the cage, plays good position.
Diamond off the bar.
Diamond the shooter.
And another flag is thrown.
You know, you see what you get with a young team, right? Lucas Diamond, just his athleticism and toughness just screams, you know, off the screen when you see it. But, you know, plays like that, you know, second time in the box, the push, clear push in the back. These are the things you got to learn from and, you know, get better during the year.
So Diamond's back in
Shoreham-Wading River.
again,
30 seconds.
a 30-second hold once again.
Lucas Diamond.
So the 5th man-up opportunity of this first half for Manhasset. Still looking for their first extra man goal.
You got 8 seconds, just hold it.
And that's what they'll do. Running out toward
Manhasset holds the ball. and
midfield.
will take the ball in for the start of the third.
So it'll be Manhasset ball
That's the end
to
of the second quarter.
start the third quarter, but what a second quarter
Shoreham-Wading
it
River
was
1.
for the hosts. A lot of Marco Petroselli
Please patronize
in
the
that second
snack
quarter.
bar for apparel and
He has been
chips and
outstanding.
It's amazing what a year of experience will do for you. He had it off the dodge, he had a few feeds, kind of dominating from that low wing, and has shown the ability to snipe the ball when he gets his hands free.
Halftime here at Ed Walsh Field. We'll have stats and more when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
again!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash! What a way to end the third quarter!
Look at this, Merrill. No slide, no problem. Gary Merrill goes top corner.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off X 3 in a row now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media. High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media @Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash! What a way to end the third quarter.
Look at this. Merrill. No slide. No problem. Gary Merrill goes top corner.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back under the lights here at Ed Walsh Field. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, our entire Varsity Media crew. It is halftime here of the curtain raiser for Manhasset and for Shoreham-Wading River. And it's Manhasset with a 7-1 lead at the half. So let's take a look at some of the first half stats. And you can see obviously some of those numbers heavily slanted towards Manhasset. They won the possessions, they kept the ball, and obviously they did their thing offensively.
Possessions lead to shots, and you see the 21-9 differential there. Faceoffs was a huge, especially in the second quarter for Manhasset when they made that run. But you see 0 for 4 from Manhasset on the man up. They're going to start this half man up and look to try to can one with the extra man unit.
When you look at individual stats, it was the Marco Petroselli first half. 4-1 for the sophomore. First start on attack as that critical lefty attackman, number 5 for Manhasset. Big first half there. Danny Colin, a couple of goals as well. Doc O'Connor with 2 assists. Connor Sheeran with a goal as well. Some good play as well in the cage, especially later in that first half from Henry Griffith. He didn't have a lot to do for a lot of the first half, but made 2 pretty good saves. Cleared the ball well late as well. The only goal for Shoreham-Wading River was scored. That was super early by Noah Gregoric, the freshman, after 22 goals as an 8th grader last year. He got the finish, and then Angelina Price, you see her there, 29, very active in the cage, made 4 saves in that first half.
So Shoreham definitely want to stay out of the box this second half. They need possessions. I felt like Gregoric opened the game with the first 2 possessions and then never touched the ball for the second quarter. And definitely look to clean up their slide packages. You know, if you're set, right, you just want to get a man-up goal, right, stay hot at the X and, keep clearing it well. Big confidence booster in the cage with Griffith, right, being clean in the clearing game.
That's a good look at Price. What a leader she is as well for the Shoreham-Wading River team. And she is, as head coach Mike Taylor said, the epitome of a Navy student athlete, right? Everything that you expect out of someone going to Navy, the leadership, the selflessness, that's what Price brings.
How about being, naming her a captain? I think that's a huge statement by Coach Taylor, the confidence he has in her as both a goalie and a leader for this Shoreham-Wading River team.
So again, Manhasset man up. So no face-off to start. And there you see some of the college commitments there for Shoreham-Wading River, including Price going to Navy, Semino going to Richmond. Richmond looking like one of the better A10 teams again this year, nationally ranked. So this is the one box that Manhasset hasn't been able to check off yet, that man-up goal, until now.
Draw it up, right? Draw it up at halftime, right? Coach McTeague had about 10 minutes to draw that one up. Every play they've had has had that real hard crease cut. They finally hit this one.
Yeah, and Connor Sheeran with the finish.
Yeah, Petroselli with the feed. And, the one thing about Sheeran, catch and finish guy. We saw it right there. Good hard cut. Great draw up by the Manhasset staff coming out of the half. Buried a man-up goal.
So Sheeran gets his second. Petroselli now with 4 and 2. And that's 8 goals. So he's gotten a part in 6 of Manhasset's 8 goals.
Yeah, it's an 8-0 run.
Salura, the Stony Brook commit, unable to get the ground ball. So then he tries to win it back. Rolled across, and it looks like Shoreham will finally get a settled opportunity.
First-time grounders are so important, right? Salura usually pretty sure-handed there on the wing. Again, it's early. It's an early game, early season.
And on that close D, Salura is one of really the only as an illegal procedure against Shoreham. The only known quantity, right? A returner, as another flag is thrown against the Wildcats. You lose Jack Morrison, Brian Fleck. You thought, again, you had Kip Zachariah back. He's out with an ACL. So Salura, very much the leader of that close D unit.
Yeah, Salura was a guy who was kind of flew under the radar last year, but didn't fly under the radar for a lot of college recruits with that size. And Zachariah would have been one of the top polls on all Long Island, right? Lehigh commit.
And the lefty finish on that delayed penalty, as it is all Manhasset.
Yeah, nice split. Tommy Leader, Jr. He scored a goal last year against Shoreham-Wading River. He's one of those guys that looking to break him out, right? He's a volume shooter, right? He can shoot it on the run. You see it here. A little drag to a split. Bang that short side lefty.
So the penalty also is included. Semino on the slash.
Yeah, Leader had 7 goals last year. Definitely going to look to double, triple that number this year if Manhasset's going to make a run.
Can you call back, ask him, did he give O'Connor an assist on that?
So you'll have a man-up face-off here.
Sorry, what would you want me to ask?
I didn't know if he gave O'Connor a generous assist.
Do you want me to ask?
For Manhasset.
Did O'Connell get the assist? He said yes, we're giving it to him.
Bo Dillmeyer's winning those clean. Been getting it back, drawing it back, using his wings.
And coming out of the box, Palumbo.
Another man up for Manhasset. Watch this hard cut to the crease.
What is the clock spread?
O'Connor up top. Switches to his left. O'Connor fires wide. The backup was there.
The lefty laser is wide.
Another good knockdown. It's him again.
Yeah, he's got radar. We call that a got it.
With the defensive
2 times on a man down and got it.
For the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's not just, there's a shot, nice save.
Griffith with the body save.
Get in my belly.
Griffith again.
Belly save.
I think that was that rare shot by Grigoric as well.
You know, it's one of those things, right? Shoreham hasn't had the ball in what seems like an hour. You know, maybe you want to pull that one out.
And you go from a saved opportunity on the other side, and this number 2 finishes for Manhasset. Another one for Tommy Leader.
Volume shooter, right? Shooters shoot, right? Number 2 buries a low angle shot there. It all starts with a save. You know, sometimes that shot is the first pass in someone else's fast break. Nice job by Leader, low angle shooting against the left-hander.
I think leader on the goal, Colin on the pass, on the assist. Colin on the assist, Mike.
Tommy Leader with his second goal of the game.
So Colin will get
Colin.
the assist on that one. And Manhasset, another face-off win.
You know, it's really hard when you have so many penalties. You've played man down so much. It's really hard to get in any type of rhythm, right, offensively and defensively, right, if you're Shoreham.
Which inevitably leads to frustration, right, and which leads to more penalties.
Yeah, especially with some, you know, younger guys out there.
GLE in the finish. Dylan Shear.
It's another assist, right, by Colin. He has this misdirection bounce to his game that makes him very difficult. Watch this little spin. He kind of spins, draw a slide. Dylan Shear, good job, junior, right, taking that kind of extra step to get to the front of the cage, right? The Manhasset staff's, you know, high on him, right? He's not going to wow you, they say, but just does everything and gets it done. Look at him to fill up the stat sheet this year.
And one of those like old school throwbacks. He was sorely missed in the postseason a year ago.
Another face-off win. You see Lachlan Fitzpatrick coming off the wing. That's what he does well. One-time GBs for Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick got a 35 out of 36 on the ACT.
Definition of a student athlete.
For sure. It's impressive. I think you're looking at a zone look, a little perhaps zone look by Shoreham. Let's see what happens with the slides.
That one on the run, shot by Harley wide.
Shot wide.
More opportunities here for Palumbo. And that'll be an illegal screen against Manhasset. If you're Mike Taylor, like, can we just get an offensive possession here?
That's been like the only thing that's gone wrong for Manhasset in the last, 20 minutes of this game.
Diamond out of the box.
Yeah, you see 6, right? James Ledbetter, a senior.
And as soon as they're on offense, they're going the other way.
Yeah, it's Colin Kelly, Jr., right? Hard checker, athlete, developing, but huge upside. You had Ledbetter. The Manhasset staff said he could be this year's Brian Fleck, that guy who really steps up and becomes a staple down there, a lockdown defender.
Ten-goal lead here for Manhasset. Game number 1 of the season. They are again in Class B with Garden City. Southside, though, now in Class C. Feed into the crease. Palumbo tried to get like the hockey rebound in front of the net.
Yeah, quick slide by Diamond, who's throws that crowbar check. A little bit of a force by Leader, trying to force feed the crease.
Mike Casey to clear.
Way too many numbers
Offside.
for Shoreham. Casey didn't recognize that. So we come the other way. Ball pinballs around.
Look at this
Now,
kid go.
Another opportunity to clear. It's Diamond.
Dave Pietro with the body check.
This would be the first man-up opportunity for Shoreham this game. Oh, going top shelf. Good look by Gregoric.
If he could only get the ball, right? If he only get possessions for Shoreham. That's where he operates. Noah Gregoric. Shifty at X. Kind of Michael Sowers-like little whoop, right? Nice job. Stays with him. Little low angle shot. Boom on the lefty.
He did a great job using the back of the net there to create some added separation. And you're right for Gregoric, especially tonight, right? Talk about high volume. Like he might have 3 shots, but he's got 2 in the back of the net. The penalty was waved off on that Gregoric goal.
Yeah, good clear by Diamond. Kind of holds on to it. Draws a foul. Goalie change from Manhasset, right? 49, Brady Balk is in there. Left-hander. Similar size to
Goalie
Griffith.
goal,
Just
Manhasset. Brady Bolt, number 39. Brady Bolt.
another player they got back from Chaminade.
So Griffith did his job.
See Luke DePietro, right? Freshman midfielder out there. Midfield with Dylan Shear, Cooper Harley, 2 juniors and a freshman.
Unable to get that shot off. We come the other way now.
It was Matthew DiDorenzo, number 13. Nice flash, little C cut inside. Just couldn't handle it and finish.
Gregoric, both goals for Shoreham-Wading River. The 4th Gregoric brother to come through this Shoreham program. You've got Gavin and Alec at Navy. You have Liam at Johns Hopkins. His other brother, Zachary, is a petty officer, 3rd class in the Coast Guard.
Not bad. All right, thank you for your service. Be a little meetup, right? You got Colin, you got a couple of Gregorics, you got
Price going down
Cheeto
the
Price.
Navy.
It's a good recruitment video for the Naval Academy.
Of course, one of the best to come out of Shoreham-Wading River. Played his lacrosse at Navy. Xavier Arline also played some football as well.
Yeah, we haven't called his name yet, but we got a 54 on Shoreham's, an 8th grader, Jack White, right? One of the few 8th graders to make varsity. You're in the same conversation with names like Kershus Arline and Jake Wilson, who's at Duke. You're pretty good.
And that ball finds its way in the net on the rebound. So the first save was made, but then the rebound was potted in. As I believe that's number 5, Ben Caggiano.
Yeah, Caggiano, right? You see a save, gives up a rebound. Caggiano picks up the trash. Kind of a Swiss Army guy for Shoreham. Coach Taylor is going to use him all over the field this season. Loves his athleticism.
It was an LSM a year ago, which is not easy to transition from LSM to a short stick.
That's the one thing, right? Coach Taylor said this is not only, this is a young roster. It's also not the deepest roster he's had. you see a lot of A/mid right on the lineups. It's because guys got to play different positions.
And also with not a deep roster, you don't have the ability to really have that strict like D-midi, right? Now that player's got to be a two-way player. So he said conditioning was a big part of the preseason, right? And just making sure that you can get up and down the field, because you're going to have to do that for this Shoreham team this year.
That's the hardest thing. You got 7 days of practice, but I'm sure these teams have been in the weight room conditioning and doing those things. But game conditioning is a lot different. It's gonna, in a way, you got to kind of play your way into shape.
Cromwell loved this matchup. I mean, it was a little bit hectic these last few days of practice, trying to really squeeze a lot of different things in and clearing packages and the man-up unit and all kinds of different looks. But he said this is great because we could take this film and now utilize it for another week until we play again.
Yeah, I asked him, did you guys scrimmage at all? He said, no, there wasn't any time, right? We did a little blue-white scrimmage, which answered some questions, but not all.
That was a good clear by Sal Mealy.
Technical foul offside.
But Shoreham was offside.
31.
Oh, excuse me, man.
Extra man opportunity for Shoreham-Wading River.
Shoreham will have the man up.
Yeah, you see Jack White on the crease, 8th grader, lefty, highly skilled, composed. They have 41, right? George Green is on man up. He's kind of the trigger man with his long pole. Find number 2 if you're Manhasset.
He's currently lurking behind the cage. There he is in the crease and the finish. Well, he hid pretty well. Goal number 3 for Noah Gregoric.
Yeah, just a smart play, just a sneak from X. Looked like Manhasset was in a 5-man rotation, lost track of the guy behind. Good job, right? Semino finds Gregoric. Those two will be counted on for a lot of heavy lifting for the Wildcats this season.
So Semino gets the assist. Gregoric the goal. Again, as you said, right, you lose a lot of big-time players for Shoreham, including the older Gregoric, Kershus as well. So a lot of goals left Shoreham-Wading River, but Noah was one of those guys who, as an 8th grader, scored 22 of them.
Yeah, I mean, losing Kershus is huge. A big replacing. He steps on day 1, first starts at attack. Now he's running first midfield for Duke. Those are hard shoes to fill.
Well, so we mentioned there's some special numbers certainly for Manhasset. Here's a look at those 3 numbers. It all started with that Johnny Driscoll number, of course, the number 32. And then, unfortunately, a tragic situation with Keeson Farrell led to their numbers being honored for the rest of time here at Manhasset.
That's one thing that this Manhasset community does so well. They rally together, and you can't find a shirt anywhere that doesn't have, Farrell and Keese, right? 44-4 around 32. Just a community that is just so all in on lacrosse and honoring those people that were just great players and wore the jersey well.
And wearing those this year, 32. We mentioned Colin, right? That terrific honor for Manhasset, wearing that Johnny Driscoll number 32, wearing Keese's 44. We mentioned before Lachlan Fitzpatrick, and wearing Michael Farrell's number 4, Daniel O'Connor this year.
Yeah, Doc, a Colby commit, going to play for the Mules. Again, last year, right, Doc, right before that one of the bus rides up to Connecticut, right, lost his mom, I believe, right? The Manhasset team kind of rallied around him. Just Doc O'Connor is a definitely the coaches, one of the coaches' favorite on the team, and just a hard-nosed, gritty kid who gives it all.
It's a community that has been hit hard over the years. You know, you think also obviously September 11th, and then you think of James Regan, a Manhasset resident who played at Chaminade, and of course that annual game between Chaminade and Manhasset Reeves Rock, always one of the special ones on the lacrosse calendar. Here's Shear. Dylan Shear has got a goal. Feed from X in the finish. A really nice looking shot by Tommy Leader.
Great job by Manhasset, right? One of these assists won't show up in the scorebook. A hockey assist kind of triggers the offense. Just got to get a number on that, but, you know, Leader finishes the feed. Petroselli, unbelievable move. Leader, I think that's his third goal of the game. Catch and shoot. He's shown us the ability to shoot on the run when he split lefty and scored 2 with his right hand.
And Petroselli with his 3rd assist of the game as well. So 4 and 3 for the sophomore Petroselli.
I'm not sure if it was Doc O'Connor or somebody drew the initial slide and did a great job throwing the ball through to X. And then you had Petroselli, little hockey stop, reverse direction.
DePietro, pole, goal, number 1.
The super sophomore off to the races. Used that short stick D-midi last year. He can push tempo. Yeah, I think he can. Kind of getting chased down, hard to his righty. Whoop. Right, little lefty. Nice job, high and away. High bouncers will go tonight. That's a good-looking sophomore.
DePietro last year used at times as a short stick D-midi, but this is his more natural position with the pole in his hand.
Yeah, he might have a home on the wing there. We've seen Fitzpatrick on the wing. We've seen Solora. Now we see DePietro.
1 minute and a third.
Well, it took until late in the 3rd, Soap, to get our first pole goal.
You love a pole goal. We don't like them as goalies.
I can imagine. But now you need, if you want to continue the bingo card, I think you need a Fogo goal. So Shoreham here in the closing seconds of quarter number 3. Question mark. Great save. That was Gregoric with the shot.
Yeah, Gregoric, little question mark move. Nice save by Balk. Good defense, right? He goes from scoring a goal to defending a really good freshman. Right, DePietro, nice job there. It's a goalie's best friend, right? Making sure he shoots from a good angle.
Wow. That was all, like, that's one of those goals. Like, I mean, listen, it was scored by Harley, but all the credit goes to Dylan Shear there. A swim move, splitting defenders, and then the feed to Leader for, the feed to Harley for the finish.
Yeah, nice job by Shear. Head up, smart move. Harley, the ability, getting score, getting a lot of guys, some goals here. It's good for the confidence for Manhasset.
Yeah, 7 different goal scorers right now for set.
Yeah, Harley's a guy you might see all over the field, right? Maybe he might be on attack sometimes, right, to get a short stick. A lot of confidence in him as an athlete.
And quarter number 3 ends with Manhasset still up by 10.
Manhasset 14, Shoreham-Wading River 4.
You know my feelings on goals like this, Soap, so I'll let you just take it over.
Yeah, just, the Red Sea parts. It's wide open. It's one-on-one. Switches to his left hand to get a better angle. Shows his IQ. Buries the ball in the back of the net, a little selly. Then goes back and guards Gregoric tremendously. super debut here with the long pole for number 20.
Yeah, Dave Pietro, have yourself a day. Manhasset leads by 10 after 3 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Back here at Ed Walsh Field. Dylan Butler, Brian Soper, the entire Varsity Media crew here for day 1 of the lacrosse season.
Yeah, you said pole goal, right? Maybe we can get a bow goal, right? The face-off guy, Dillmeyer.
I like it.
Dillmeyer with the face-off win.
So Petroselli leading the way for Manhasset, 4 and 3. Tommy Leader with a hat trick. 2 goals apiece from Colin and Sheeran.
It was a Geist ground ball, right? 36 was Tommy Guerin, right? A really promising 9th grade pole, right, with that wing GB.
Sheer gets downhill. He just scored before, a goal and an assist, setting up Cooper Harley. Colin takes a few shots up high.
He's so good at drawing doubles, getting away, and making those kind of lever pull passes. Just creates offense and space.
That a deflected pass that'll stay with Manhasset. Petroselli, the feed, the one more, and the finish in front. The little dunk by Sheeran.
That was really, really pretty. Little tic-tac-toe, little set piece by Manhasset. Set piece by set. You had Petroselli, who's been really tough on the ball. It was kind of like a little curl by Colin. Finds Sheeran, a big target junior coming down the middle. Just knows how to get open. Great timing on that play by Manhasset.
So Sheeran, his 3rd goal off of Colin's 3rd assist. And Manhasset rolling here in this season opener.
You see Joe Milazzo, senior D-mid on the wing with Guerin, the pole.
Battle for the ball is picked up by Shoreham. Oh, the quick shots.
Yeah, Semino with the shot. Good backup by the 8th grader, Jack White.
I think Suffolk C is going to be interesting this year as well, right? Like Bayport lost a lot of seniors from that team. Here's Gregoric to Diamond. Little jump shot, bounced it wide. You know, this team, even though they're taking their lumps here early on, they're going to be better by the end of the season.
Knocks it away.
That shot wide.
Yeah, good defense. You see Colin Kelly on the ball. Little shovel shot attempt by Semino.
And there's Diamond again. He's a guy who, Taylor, as he takes a jump shot and a tough finish for Diamond, but he is a guy who draws comparisons to Francisco Cortez. Remember him as well, right? A guy that took some time getting going, played on the defensive side of the ball early in his high school career. Now he's doing his thing up at Harvard.
I'm buying stock in 55, right? Lucas Diamond, only a sophomore. Just, you know, Coach Taylor said he never backs down, and he does not play like a sophomore. He's rugged, he's tough. That was a great bounce shot, getting his hands away, getting his hands free. Super skilled shot there, not easy at all.
Yeah, Taylor said, he said, listen, Franny, as a 9th grader, he was doing the clearing, playing some D-mid, and then they kind of built more into his game and built more into his game, and the 10th grade became a big part of the offense. Well, guess what? Lucas Diamond is a sophomore this year.
Good job, Matty and Franco. Took about 6 whacks.
Pole goal, number 2, no. But another man-up opportunity here for Manhasset.
Yeah, new goalie. Yes, Alora, right? He wants to get in on the action. Good stop.
So 2 penalties again against Shoreham. So there'll be 6-on-4 for 30 seconds.
Yeah, 26 we have is Colin Abrams. If that's not him in the net, we apologize. But good stop.
A lot of confusion here for Shoreham. You're playing 6-on-4. Colin sidearms it, and there's the finish for Colin. He's got 3.
Yeah, filling up the stat sheet, both dishing the ball, shooting the ball. Definitely has that low left corner on replay all night. A little fake, right, trying to play, 2 guys up top against the 3. Colin says, why not? I'll step in and finish the ball.
Big offensive output for Manhasset in game number 1.
I'd say pretty good start wearing that 32 jersey for Colin.
They push. So it'll be Shoreham ball.
Good job by Mikey Beschel, right? Sophomore chasing that down. Clemente had a goal on his mind. Henry Ledbetter out there at D-mid with Joe Malazzo.
Pumping the brakes, Diamond goes to his left, and he's eaten up. Diamond will work back, though. And that an unfortunate, no, it's a good bounce for Shoreham. You mentioned before, Jack White, 54. There he is.
Yeah, no reset on the shot clock.
Yeah, never changed possession.
Man, his change of direction, Gregoric, is super special.
He's got 10 on the shot clock, Gregoric. Fights through traffic, shoots that one just wide.
Yeah, Colin, good on-the-ball defense by Kelly He had the slide by Ledbetter. Gregoric still got through it.
And this is what you were mentioning before, right? You see it so often in the college game, late in the shot clock, ball in the corner. You just throw it away and get your numbers back.
It's one thing this season I'm interested to see, all the coaches' different strategies, how they're going to handle these shot clock situations.
The Wildcats win it back at midfield, and now we go the other way.
Another good check by Kelly.
And that was a great one by Samino. White, kick save.
Lefty on lefty. Senior says no to the 8th grader. Looking to get his first varsity goal.
Pumping the brakes. White, he's looking for another one. And Bollock gets up high that time. Crease violation against Shoreham.
He's not afraid. White goes hard to the hoop. Good defense, forcing the inside roll by Keith Lamb.
And then a bad clearance. Shoreham will take the ball back.
Andrew Messina looks like he's on attack for Manhasset, 38.
Yeah, an early season lopsided score, not the broadcaster's best friend.
Got Gregoric on a shorty, early slide.
Deep into our charts. Oh, another great save.
Nice save. Gregoric went hard to his right hand. Nice off-hip save by Brady Balk.
But again, it's the clearance that comes back to haunt them.
Good slide by Colin Kelly. Also, I like the way he showed a little bit of restraint there, right? He could have really laid the boom there. Nice job.
So 3 for $1, and Bollock gets the clear. So some rotation here now for Manhasset. Cooper Harley, 27, stays in.
And number 21, James Zublionis.
The feed to X. That's Palumbo.
I see Diamond still out there like a pit bull on the ball.
Shot clock will wind down. See some of the upcoming games for Shoreham-Wading River. Canandaigua having a 9 a.m. start there. You go to East Islip, Miller Place, and then finally your first home game against Port Jeff.
They'll watch this film, get back at it at practice, clean up some of the mistakes.
Here's Samino. Slide comes, Samino. And a late flag against Manhasset. Might be a slash there. Samino. Jump shot, takes a bounce around, then the Wildcats will be man up.
Last time they went man up, they got Noah Gregoric on a sneak from X. Let's see if they Manhasset can cover that.
I think that's Green. Again, we've seen him part of that man-up unit.
So Gregoric's up top in this set. I'm sure he's going to cut into something and carry.
Nearly an errant pass. And there's the goal in front.
The 8th grader. Middle school by day, varsity lacrosse at night. Nice find.
Jack White making some music.
Yeah, take that ball, give it to the kid. Unbelievable job, right? Gregoric kind of, carried. You had the pop by Diamond, who found the freshman White inside. Definitely showed me something tonight, Mr. White. He went inside roll and, took a couple of hits, right, willing to play the crease on the man up. Nice finish by him.
Yeah, you mentioned, right, Xavier Arline, Liam Kershus, Jake Wilson.
Not bad.
Yeah.
2 Dukes and a Navy.
Yeah, and Jack White. That's the fourth.
And we'll run quarterback, too, for Navy.
Tiff Headington on the face-off from Manhasset.
Yeah, face-off by Atif Headington, right? Senior.
And you could see how juiced the Manhasset bench was with the hopes of him winning that one.
Nice save by Balch. Love how he caught that rebound.
And a nice clear as well. Kyle Melkonian will go the other way. A lot of these D-middies for Manhasset are similar, right? When we spoke with Keith Cromwell, says, listen, we love their athleticism, a bunch of football players who had a great fall, tough, physical, but it's game experience that's going to be vital for them early on.
And also, like, who can push the ball in transition, right? Who's that guy who's going to be able to get it up and out?
Some sloppy play here, and a timeout is called by Manhasset.
It's final timeout of the game with 3:03 left.
And we take a look, you mentioned some of these names, right? Some guys playing next level for both of these teams. That's a nice five-some to have there if you're Manhasset.
Yeah, Joey Terenzi, 2-time All-American at Manhasset, right, running at Virginia. Cal Gerard, 50% on the season for Duke. Mulholland, leading scorer for Michigan. Jack Mulholland has a goal on the season, right? Dartmouth's like the up-and-coming Ivy, 7-1. Eight appearances by Mulholland, and Rowan Collins at Lehigh, right? Kip Zachariah will join him there in a couple of years. But how about the Connor brothers, right? The Colgate, right? Rollgate, right? They're lighting up the scoreboard. You got Peterson at Harvard. Forget about it. Embarrassment of riches for Manhasset. It starts from the PAL and goes into Division I.
Going to take a look at some of the next level guys as well for Shoreham-Wading River, and some knowns there playing high level Division I lacrosse.
Yeah, Kershus right now running first midfield, great vision. Just some of the skip passes we see at Duke. At Koskinen is the same thing we saw for Shoreham. Jake Wilson's a pit bull for defender. The Schwartz brothers, how about North Carolina, right? Kind of the toast of the town, right? That team that with Owen Duffy and Long Island flavor, right? They're tearing it up. And you got Liam Gregoric right at Hopkins. Just a tremendous, tremendous program at Shoreham. All credit to Coach Taylor and what he's done in 13 years. How about the Taylor story with all these boys, right? They're all playing at Malloy.
They've all found their way there, right?
Unbelievable, right?
They didn't start there, some of them.
Yeah, they're counting for 30 goals for Coach Dunn. Taylor, and Taylor, the law firm.
There's one more. There's a fourth Taylor as well playing there. You've got Jake, who started at Wingate. Now he's at Malloy. Noah also started at Wingate, now at Malloy. Owen and Liam as well, all playing for Malloy.
top shelf finish for Luke De Pietro.
Yeah, his brother scores with a pole, and he says, "That's my turn. I can't have you with bragging rights tonight. We both got to eat." You see, caught on midfield, right? Semino throws that wrap check. Top shelf.
See the upcoming schedule for Manhasset. Back here under the lights, Cold Spring Harbor, Dennis Bond and his crew make the trip to Manhasset. Then you head to Oceanside and Seaford, and then Ridgefield, Connecticut comes a call in.
Yeah, they go Ridgefield and Darien, then they have Rumson and John Jay, a little out-of-state flavor for Set this year in their non-conference schedule.
Balk says, "I don't want anything to do with a Fogo goal."
I love
denying Clemente.
I love the way he saves it and catches it, right? Just shows off his soft hands, those soft mitts.
And he gets the clear as well. Inside the final 2 minutes of this one.
A heavy yellow call by the Manhasset sideline. Slow it down.
And that one will come the other way. You'd say it was an opportunity for Shoreham as well to utilize their bench, but there's not much of a bench to utilize.
Yeah, he was playing D-mid. We haven't called him, but he's going to be a big guy for this Shoreham team all year. D-mid role, Sean Casey, football standout, all county. I think he's committed to SUNY Cortland, who we know about, their national championship run a few years in football.
Off the pipe for White.
1 minute in the game.
Good ground ball by Ledbetter. Good handle by Zublionis.
Oh.
Atif Headington smelled the goal there. Crowd would have exploded.
He's a football star, but they're giving him the walk-on treatment here down late.
Oh, yeah, he's a heck of a running back for Manhasset this year.
So final few seconds of this one. Maybe one more chance here for Shoreham. The feed and the finish by Gregoric.
Yeah, nice job, number 6, right? Max Ferrugia, 11th grader, showed off some wheels. Found the right guy in transition to bury the ball. Nice to see Shoreham playing to the very end.
Noah Gregoric with his 4th goal of the game.
It's 4 goals for Noah Gregoric.
So one more face-off, and we should be good to go here.
On the face-off for Manhasset.
17-7, the lead for Manhasset. And that is the final whistle. A decisive win for those guys. Manhasset, they take this one 17-7 over Shoreham-Wading River. Parents, Varsity Media is now offering close-up videos of just your athlete. This film pinpoints your son or daughter's play, helps them to improve throughout the season, and it makes for a better recruiting video. Included in your ISO videos, we'll post highlights of your athlete on our social media with over 70,000 followers. Spots are limited. Reach out today at 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. So, Soap, as we wrap here at Ed Walsh Field, I think, listen, for game number 1, I think Manhasset, you can check off a lot of boxes And now you've got a week, again, you go back to the laboratory, you watch this film, you learn from it. But some positives, certainly, from guys who are in elevated roles this year.
Same names, right, but different roles, right? Colin, Sheeran, Petroselli, Leader, O'Connor. Those are the guys that are going to have to do it for Manhasset. I think you got to be real happy with both goalies, right? Griffith and Balch in there. And you had a nice job by Dillmeyer at the Faceoff X.
And Shoreham-Wading River, they'll go back again to the drawing board as well. But Taylor, listen, we opened the season as young as we've ever been, as inexperienced as we've ever been against the blue blood of Long Island and Manhasset. So they too will be better for this matchup. So that'll do it here from Manhasset High School for our entire Varsity Media crew. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin. Our technical director, Becca Kazaks. Kevin Catalanato, Ron Pierre bringing you all those great moving images. From my broadcast partner, Brian Soper. Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Ed Walsh Field. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.